If I had to sum this bike up in one word, that would be momentum. So this is the last day of our holiday in Mallorca. We've done close to 700 kilometers, almost 8,000 meters of ascent, and a top speed of almost 65 kilometers an hour. And I'm so happy with this bike. And I think this is going to be the future of endurance road bikes. This geometry just works because it just holds its speed. It is a super efficient platform for pedaling. It's not the sprightliest, springiest dance on the pedals climber. It's not the fastest of the fast aero bike. My God, it just keeps going, going. Never feels like you've wasted a kilojoule. And that to me is what an endurance bike should be. No ISO speed decouplers and flex and compliance. It just needs to be a super efficient mile muncher, and this is ticking all those boxes for me. On the climbs, it encourages you to sit down and spin a steady 80 to 90 RPM cadence. So this, as you can probably tell from the slightly shaky footage, is the sort of road surface that kills momentum. Look, rough, potholed, coarse gravel. And this is where those wheels and those tyres really come into their own, and that compliance built into the frame, because I'm still sat here on my saddle keeping a nice steady cadence. It doesn't really reward you in the same way that a climbing bike is when you get out of the saddle and try and dance on the pedals up a climb. It's not that sort of a bike. And then on the descents, it's just so confident, you don't really need to brake. And the rougher the road surface gets, the better this is. You don't really feel like you need to brake and choose a line. You can just plough through things. This is one of the roughest, pittest roads you'll find on the island of Mallorca, I'm pretty sure. But I'm going to show you what this bike can do when you start hitting the rough stuff. So this is a very extreme example when this bike essentially turns into a gravel bike. But anyone that's familiar with doing big miles, I'm pretty sure has come across roads like this. Let's enjoy it. Woo, windy! That was kind of a ridiculous amount of fun.
There's nothing nice about that.
That was amazing.
I took some photos, but Jesus Christ. That was agriculture.
And that to me is what an endurance bike should be about. Absolutely preservation of all that energy that you've expended into building that speed. You want to try and preserve it as best you can. And to me, this bike is doing that. The reason it does it is that 74-degree seat angle puts me in a slightly more upright position, opens my hips ever so slightly, allows me to sit further forwards. The slack 71-degree head angle here and that fork rake gives it a fantastically long trail for a road bike, which makes that handling so stable. And even on a really windy day like we have here on Cap Formentor, these 55mm deep wheels are absolutely no issue whatsoever, super stable. There are plenty of gears on that one by setup. I've never ever wanted for more gears than that. I can still be pedaling at 49 kph, which for me is fast enough for an endurance ride. So it's definitely not one of those aero bikes where it's all about the top speed, but it's definitely slippery enough to hold a good momentum even in the sickest of headwinds. And it's definitely not that light dancing on the pedals climbing bike. This bike is all about getting the miles done efficiently as possible, and I love it.